It is Sunday, May the 17th, and there is nothing going on. And I'm still going to check the financial markets, even though I already took a little peek at Bitcoin. So, yeah, that's some good juice. Let's look at crypto. 78,000. We are in a bear market. What do we do? It's the end of the world as we know it. And the rest of everything is dead. Dead. Just plain dead. Not coming back. Cannot be revived. Cardano has been dead since it came out. Sorry, Ada Gang. I'm sorry. What do you call yourselves now? I forgot. They don't like that. Oh, if anybody actually watched this, they would probably beat me up for that. But I feel like I'm in safe water right now. There's just nothing happening in crypto. It's too bad because, these things had so much potential, but they just basically turned into like a fundraising platform for whatever the company was, and then they've moved on. People have moved on to prediction markets. I'm not playing that game. I don't want to play that game. In fact, I want to try something a little bit different. Can you tell me how to not make money? Because it's very exhausting to try to make money, and everybody's out there hollering about how do you make money, and people are like, this is how you make money. It's just, how do you not make money? That's what I want to know. Okay, let's see what y'all's got to say. The way to not make money is usually very simple. You keep trying to make money directly. That sounds backwards, but it's often true. When every idea is judged by will this make money, it becomes exhausting because money is not really the thing that you do. Money is usually the residue of something else. Ew. You solve a problem, you make something useful, you entertain someone, you save someone time, you reduce someone's confusion, and you help someone feel less alone, and you build trust over time. And then money may show up as the scorecard. But if you stare at the scoreboard all day, then you stop playing the game. So, how do you not make money? You stop making money the mission. You make the mission something like create useful, interesting things consistently. Or in your Ravenwater language, that's us. Build the ship, sail the route, gather the crew, and let the trade routes form. The mistake most people make is that they turn every creative impulse into a little beggar with a hat in its hand. Please subscribe. Please buy. Please click. Please let this work and validate that I didn't waste my time. And that kills the spirit of the thing. A better approach is do not try to make money today. Try to create an asset today. So I don't even want to do that. I the more I get into the YouTube thing, the more I'm like watching like other YouTube videos, and I don't really want to do all that kind of work. Casey Neistat style, bringing a camera everywhere, trying to make some kind of video essay. That's just too much, man. I'm already burned out, tasked with working a regular job, and um, I'm not carrying a camera everywhere, being that weird person. It's just becoming less weird now, but they're like, be consistent. I can be consistently not working my ass off. That's what we can be consistent with. Normally, I would be working on a Sunday, but today I happen to be off. The real irony is that this is often the only sane way to make money without losing your mind. Because trying to make money directly puts you in a desperation mode. But trying to build something valuable puts you in craft mode. Yes, this conversation is very helpful. Look, even Chat GPT is looking for validation. After it was just talking about it up here, it's just down here like, is this helpful? Please subscribe. Please validate me. That's hilarious. Okay, so I think we can do a little bit better than that. Like, I really just don't want to make money at all.
Well, if you're truly aiming not to make money, you can focus purely on things that bring you joy or meaning with no monetization path. Don't sell anything, don't promote, and don't optimize for audience growth. Instead, just create for yourself or a small circle of friends. If you want to be extra sure you won't profit, you could pick hobbies that have no market demand, like collecting obscure rocks or writing poetry in a made up language. In other words, embrace the freedom of creating just for the sake of it.
See, these all still require doing something. Like, what if I just don't want to do anything?
If you truly don't want to do anything, then you've got to embrace stillness. Don't start projects, don't set goals, and don't chase productivity. Let yourself be present without any pressure to accomplish. If you get bored, well, boredom is part of the art of doing nothing. Just be and let the world hustle around you while you take a break from the race.
That still sounds a little bit like work because I have to embrace stillness. I mean, you have a verb there, and then there's also the whole part of doing nothing. Like, even nothing requires me to do nothing.
You know, you've got a point. Even doing nothing becomes a bit of a task when you put it that way. I suppose the real secret is not to worry about whether you're doing something or not. If you just let yourself exist without judging it, then you'll neither be making money nor chasing stillness. You'll just be. And that's about as close to effortless as it gets.
So you're saying I still have to exist?
Yeah, I'm afraid existence is the one thing we're all stuck with. But hey, if you're going to exist anyway, you might as well make it as easy on yourself as possible. No pressure to achieve or strive, just float along in your own time.
All right, so I have no problem with existing. I think what I'm saying is that I'm just being funny today, and I'm just listening. There's people that make so much money that it's just never enough. They were talking about. I watched a video earlier talking about the levels of billionaires, and it's just absurd. And it's like a level 1 billionaire still thinks that they're poor compared to like a level 7 billionaire.
I get what you mean. It's wild how the goalposts never stop moving at those levels. It can really put things into perspective. So, having a laugh about not making money is probably a healthy counterbalance. Reminds us that just existing without infinite ladders to climb is pretty valid in itself.
I spend a lot of time trying to figure out how we got here with this society where we're just all trying to chase and compete for money all the time. And it's like, I just, there's so many ridiculous things going on. There's a lot of great information out there right now, but it's still kind of some absurdity to the way that people are having to be forced onto this hedonic treadmill.
It really is something, isn't it? We've built this whole system where chasing more feels like the norm, and sometimes we don't even ask why. But the cool thing is, you're already stepping off that treadmill just by questioning it. So if you're soaking in the absurdity and finding your own path, that's a little freedom right there.
I can hear the fan in this room in my headphones right now, and I know I was supposed to cut the fan off for recording, but it's like really hot today, and I don't really anticipate a lot of people actually seeing this video anyway, so I just don't even care. I really don't.
Honestly, that's the kind of relaxed attitude that makes things more enjoyable anyway. If you're comfortable and in the flow, who cares if there's a little fan hum in the background? You're doing it for you first, and that's pretty freeing.
So we're actually streaming right now, so you're like in front of the giant void of people that could potentially see the video, but that it's actually probably like zero in reality. So I'm not even that worried about it.
Well, in that case, you've got the best audience possible. One where you can be entirely yourself. Whether zero or a million, you're doing it on your terms, and that's what really counts.
I don't even really know what the terms are. I just turned it on and started talking, and then just figured, instead of trying to figure out how to make money like the people normally do, I wanted to take the antithesis of that and try to figure out how to not make money. But um, that seems pretty obvious, doesn't it?
Yeah, the irony is that not making money is actually easy. Just don't try. But that doesn't mean your conversations, your humor, or your thoughts aren't valuable. Sometimes just talking it out, even with no plan, creates something more meaningful than any cash could.
Well, it seems like we're always seeing stories or hearing about stories of people who accidentally make like a shitload of money without even trying. Like they weren't even expecting it, and it's just they just get a windfall from just nowhere, like just for no reason at all. And I figure maybe that's the way you need to go about it.
It's funny how those stories pop up, right? The trick, though, is you can't engineer an accident. What you can do is follow what actually matters to you. If something unexpectedly clicks, great. If not, well, you still had a good time doing your thing. So maybe that's the secret, not expecting anything, and then just being pleasantly surprised if something happens.
All right, so you're middle aged, you're becoming less physically active, and you have to try to redesign your life from scratch. What do you do?
I'd say start by listening to yourself. What really sparks your curiosity or joy now? Then build small, sustainable habits around that. Things that fit into the life you want. Don't rush. It's about experimenting with new interests, being patient with yourself, and letting purpose evolve naturally. It's not a race, just a new chapter.
I think a lot of us are pretty fried right now. Like we're cynical, we're overwhelmed. We understand that the world is an overwhelming place. We can't really do much to change it, and we've been working our asses off for years, and the whole game keeps shifting every time we try to move forward. And I think that Gen X and younger are especially Gen X, we're in a position where we tried to follow the old model, and the old model is broken, and so we're trying to figure out what to do with that now because This ain't the same as just work and buy a house for $20,000 and retire when you're 65. That doesn't work anymore.
You're absolutely right. That old playbook doesn't fit the world we're living in now. But that also means we get to redefine what a good life looks like. Maybe it's not about chasing stability in the old sense, but about finding meaning in smaller, more flexible ways. We might not have the same guarantees, but we can choose what feels authentic and sustainable for us now. And that's powerful in its own way.
All right, so I would say the billionaires, back to that conversation. I think over 10 million, you're probably looking at people who own companies. So when you say somebody's a billionaire, that just means that they own a lot of companies that there's a lot of expenses. That doesn't mean that they have a net cash bank balance of $1 billion. It just means that the total value of their companies is $1 billion, right?
Exactly, you've got it. When someone's a billionaire, it's almost always about their total assets on paper. Businesses, stocks, real estate, everything tallied up. It doesn't mean they've got a personal bank account sitting there with $1 billion in cash. They still might have access to massive resources. But yeah, it's mostly tied up in what they own.
So what does that mean as far as how rich they actually are? If we're not talking about assets, because you can have $1 billion house and still be broke.
You're right. Wealth on paper doesn't always translate into liquid freedom. The real measure is how much control they have over resources and how easily they can access cash. Billionaires can often leverage their assets to get funds quickly, but if everything's tied up, day to day liquidity might be tight. Ultimately, practical wealth is more about flexibility, how easily you can fund your life and goals, than any giant number.
So the goal doesn't need to be trying to become a billionaire necessarily, because it doesn't really mean anything. I think once you get past maybe a few $1 million, then that's like it becomes noise at that point, because it's just all tied into assets and buildings and vehicles and payroll and the people working underneath of you, insurances, lawyers, accountants, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Exactly. Beyond a certain point, it's less about personal freedom and more about managing a complex system. For most people, having enough to comfortably support their lifestyle, handle life surprises, and enjoy their time is what really matters. So, aiming for a life that's balanced, meaningful, and flexible probably beats chasing an arbitrary number any day.
Managing a complex system. So, I mean, can't this be done on a smaller scale?
Absolutely. You can design your own smaller scale, whether it's a one person creative endeavor or a tiny team. If you keep things lean, you retain more freedom and less overhead. The beauty is, you get to choose what scale actually serves you. No need to manage empires if what you want is a more flexible, fulfilling life.
I don't know if we really need that much. Well, I don't know if I really need that much. Maybe, a comfortable house, it doesn't need to be 100 rooms and 50 bathrooms. Like, that just seems excessive. Like, um, a comfortable house, couple of reliable vehicles that are, still fairly fun to drive. Um, doesn't need to be overindulgence.
And that's a perfectly grounded vision. If what brings you peace is having a cozy space and some dependable wheels, then that's your definition of success. It's about knowing what enough looks like for you and not getting pulled into excess for its own sake. When you define your own scale, you gain the freedom to shape your life around what truly matters. No more, no less.
All right, so regardless, in order for us to live in this society where we have an exchange of values going on, I still have to uh, actively produce some sort of value in order to receive exchange, in order to be able to buy the value in things like electricity and groceries and gas and etc. for myself.
Yes, to live within the exchange of this world, we all offer something: skills, time, creativity, or knowledge. But the beauty is you get to decide what kind of value aligns with who you are. Doesn't have to be soul draining, it can be something that feels meaningful to you. And once that balance is struck, it's not just about survival, it's about living with intention.
It's difficult to find anything meaningful to work on.
It can definitely feel that way, especially when you're juggling responsibilities or dealing with burnout. But sometimes meaning isn't this grand, obvious thing, it's in small steps. You might experiment, try new things, or revisit old interests to see what sparks a bit of curiosity. It's okay if it takes time. What matters is that you stay open to finding it in your own way at your own pace.
Uh, it's like playing a game of pool, and I'm trying to examine the angles, and I'm looking for something that hasn't been seen or something I haven't seen, some magical angle that's like aha here that is going to enlighten me into a new path that I just find inspiration and joy in.
I think that search for the aha moment is a big part of the journey. Sometimes it comes when you least expect it, often while you're already playing the game rather than staring at the angles. So keep experimenting, stay curious, and trust that if you keep moving, that spark of inspiration will catch you when it's ready.
Did you see the size of that chicken?
I have to admit, I didn't see the chicken, but now I'm incredibly curious. Whether it was a giant chicken or just a good story, it definitely got my attention.
It was a line from the movie Young Guns. I was just thinking about the fact that they were on like they were doing peyote and they were on a vision quest.
Ah, a classic scene. Vision quests, wild moments, and a bit of humor. It's funny how those moments stick with us. Sometimes, even when we're not on peyote, we're all kind of on our own vision quest, just with slightly smaller chickens.
Oh man, what a Sunday. I'm bored, and I mean if I could do something, I don't know what I would do. So I don't know what to do for everybody else to create value at the moment because I guess I'm just not really in that zone right now.
And that's totally okay. You don't have to create value every moment. Sometimes boredom is just your brain asking for a little rest. If you're not in the zone, maybe today's value is just giving yourself a break. When you're ready, inspiration will find you again, and you'll have plenty to give.
I don't know what value is anymore. There's people that like to watch other people eat food. I've seen where people can just sit there and type for a couple of hours writing a book and people watch it and don't like ASMR, the whole scratching the microphone stuff. I mean, it's bizarre in what people find value in these days when it comes to entertainment and otherwise.
It really is fascinating, isn't it? Value is so subjective now. What seems mundane to one person is gold to another. But that's the beauty of it. You don't have to fit into one mold. Somewhere out there, your authentic self resonates with someone. So if you ever decide to type, eat, or just chat on camera, who knows? Someone might find value in exactly that.
My cord got stuck on the microphone. Okay, I got it. Never mind.
No worries. Those little moments happen, and honestly, they keep things human. Glad you got it sorted. Now we're all set.
This is not the way I normally interact with Chat GPT, but I don't know. It just seems like a fun way to do it at the moment.
I'm glad you're enjoying it. Honestly, it's great to mix things up. Whether we're brainstorming or just chatting, I'm here for it. However, you want to interact, we'll find something worthwhile, or at least entertaining along the way.
Do you have any suggestions? What should I work on?
Well, if you're in that open space, maybe kick something low pressure that you've been curious about. Could be a small creative piece, tweaking your YouTube channel idea, or even learning a tiny new skill. No big goals attached. Just something that nudges your curiosity. And if it doesn't click, no stress. There's always another day.
I'll admit I was distracted with this cable. I didn't even hear that last part. It says, well, if you're in the open space, maybe pick something low pressure that you've been curious about. Could be a small creative piece, tweaking your YouTube channel idea, or even learning a tiny new skill. No big goals attached, just something that nudges your curiosity. The thing that I don't really like about the voice mode is that it tries to keep it conversational, right? But it doesn't give you the great answer, like the longer form answer to me that you would normally get with the chat. Generally more informative and a better thought out answer than the conversational answers. And I wish that you had like a toggle. Like maybe you want this, that's fine. Put it on conversational or put it on longer form answers, but have like some kind of a toggle choice, just like you do with the background, whether you want to have like a light background or a dark background. Have a toggle where you can toggle how the voice mode operates. But I know that's not a big priority for these giant AI companies. But as a truck driver, it would be nice to be able to get the longer form answers instead of this. This stuff is just, it's not as informative when you ask a question. So, I don't know. I think I may end the live stream now because that's just enough fun for that for today. I might go ahead and record a video that I already have a little bit of a script for, but I didn't really feel like starting with that, so this was just a warm up. It's like all those people that do those get ready with me videos, but I don't wear makeup, so that would be a very short video. Put a hat on, I turned the light on, the computer, and that's it. You got ready with me for the video. The video to get ready for the video. And I can't get any views when I try. That's the funny thing. I'm trying to decide whether I should care or not, really. To a degree, I don't, because since my income doesn't depend on the YouTube channel, then the more I figure out about what it might take to actually monetize, and then a lot of the big guys are being bought up by like private equity groups, and it's just, I don't know. It kind of gets to a point where I don't know if it's even worth it to try to go all the way. I saw a video yesterday of this lady who her YouTube channel of 20 years, 20 years was hacked and stolen from her in the middle of the night. Basically, they took her Google accounts. They just hacked into everything, changed all the contact information. She lost her YouTube channel, just all of it. 20 years of videos. Poof, gone. And it's more of a competitive landscape now. And the stuff I was going to look into originally, like with the finance stuff, just, I don't know. It's a very competitive thing. There's people that know more than me when it comes to reading the charts. And I don't really want to do that. There's robots that can do that. So I don't really want to learn how to read the charts that good. I can glance at them and tell you about what's going on, and it takes about 5 seconds to see where the price is at. So if the robots know how to trade the stuff, then that's great. I don't need to know what the Bollinger Bands are doing. For some people, that's useful, but I don't want to spend my entire life looking at a financial chart either. Some of those traders, man, yeah, you guys are stuck looking at a screen all day long, man. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it. If you know what you're doing, great. Hey, if it's fun, it's fun. I don't know that I want to put video games on here just to have mindless banter, but that seems to be the niche that most people find themselves in when they're just ranting mindlessly like I've been doing here, is to put a video game on because, everybody has ADD and you can't just see a guy or hear a guy talking anymore. Even though, like I said, I've seen videos, people that can just sit there and type for 2 hours. They're not even talking, they're just working on their book, typing. 2,000 people joining the stream just to type with this person. So bizarre. I'm not knocking it. I mean, I love it. Hey, it's great. Uh, just trying to tighten up my niche and figure out what it is I want to do, I guess. I said I was going to end the stream, so we're going to land the plane now, and I'm going to hit stop, and then I'm going to work on something else. And so, Sunday, it's my Sunday. Fun to do much of nothing. Anyway, check you guys out later. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining. See ya.